guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, going to go over an email that was sent from a subscriber. And this is from a guy who's definitely gone through some hardships in his life. And you're going to see here that it's almost like the deck was stacked against him from the beginning. And you're going to see a little more what I'm talking about here. And with regards to the hardships and problems, definitely when it comes to women. And you're going to see multiple examples how this guy does so many things which in so many stories and videos I've done, I tell you not to do. And he, as you're going to see here, never had a real strong male role model to kind of show him the ropes in life and all that. And as a result, he goes through what he goes through. But the good thing is, guys, even though he goes through all these hardships and problems, and believe me, when you hear them, you're going to just want to facepalm yourself some of the times. Ultimately, the guy gets his act together, eventually says, that's it, no more of this nice guy crap and being a white knight and all that. Gets his life together, and now he's doing well, and he's on track. And he asked me to go through to share his email to help other guys out that are struggling as well, or to also show guys not to make the mistakes that he made, because a lot of guys make these types of mistakes. So, getting right into it, he says, Yo, SSM, I've been watching your channel for a while, and I just want to say thank you for what you do. You really shed the light on how messed up the world of relationships and women are. It has helped me change my outlook and shift my focus on what's really important in my life, so thank you very much, man. Well, you're welcome, bro, and thank you very much for your support, and thank you to all you guys for your support. This is going to be a lengthy email about me, but I think the viewers will take something from my own personal struggles, and experiences. You can say that life stacked the deck against me since a very early age. I lost my mom to a drunk driver when I was only 11 years old, and my dad was never in the picture. I was raised by my gay feminist uncle and a single grandmother. And he says, I never knew my grandfather. That all being said, I was never raised to be masculine. My mom was a single mom, and my grandmother pretty much taught me all the wrong things when it comes to being a man. Well, I mean, that really sucks on multiple fronts. But at the very least, you had family raising you. Because a lot of guys, I mean, it could have been way worse where you end up having to go into the system and have to be in maybe a group home, or it went to foster care or something like that. So at the very least, you had family watching out for you and taking care of you. And I'm sure they meant well, but just, you need a masculine guy to help a boy become a man in this world. The problem is that there's so many guys that have been feminized thanks to the you-know-what movement that even if a young boy has a father there or an uncle or grandpa, it's a strong possibility that they're clueless, don't know what the hell they're talking about, what they're doing, and that's today's world. This is why I do what I do to help guys out to kind of get them back to where things once were, because we need strong fathers, strong grandfathers, uncles, or older brothers to set the example to help guys become a man. And there's many definitions it would be to be masculine or a man. So grandma and uncle, obviously, I'm going to assume tried their best, but they could only go so far. Anyhow, he says here, I was fortunate to have a father figure in my life who was my mom's ex-fiancé. It was the closest thing I had to a real dad, but obviously that wasn't enough. You talk all the time in your videos how boys being raised by single moms aren't raised to be masculine, and my upbringing is a prime example. Yeah, look at today's world. Look around us what we have here. And again, doesn't mean the single moms can't provide and love their kids and everything, but it's not the same for the boys. They need a guy around, okay? It is what it is. Now, don't get me wrong. You can have. I have known a couple single moms that raise boys, and that the boys are actually tough, but that's rare. But by and large, the boys are kind of P words. He says, well, fast forward to when I started dating and got my very first girlfriend at 15 years old, when I was in high school. We dated for 3 years, and that was my first slap in the face of the reality of how females really operate. Well, I'm about to drop the bomb. She had 2 little girls at only 16. 16? She had 2 kids at 16? That's not exactly girlfriend material, brother. I mean, I'm assuming she was good looking, but 16? That's trouble. Well, you're going to see, guys, this guy has a history of getting together with women that bring trouble into his life. And I'm going to get into that a little bit later about what I think is really going on. He says, I know, slapped the hell out of me. I look back and I think about how stupid I was at that age. I'm 27 now, and it really makes me cringe looking at all the stupid mistakes I already made as a young teenager. Bro, there isn't one guy watching this video right now anywhere in the world that didn't make dumbass mistakes when they were teenagers, okay, or even as adults, okay? Believe me, I made plenty of mistakes growing up because I didn't know any better. I didn't have an example in that area. My dad was actually a masculine guy and a good role model. The problem was that as a teenager, I went through that phase where the parents were the enemy, and I didn't want to talk to them or anything like that, or ask him advice and all that. The only time I actually asked my dad advice, when my first serious girlfriend broke up with me when I was 16 and all heartbroken and all that. And he said to me quite calmly that you should have multiple girlfriends. And he was right. I shouldn't have gotten all, stuck with one and all emotional and getting attached, and he saw what happened. He's like, hey, I have lots of girlfriends. Because believe me, when he was single, he definitely had fun too. He got it. But I didn't listen. So don't worry about that. We all make mistakes. Anyhow, he says, I think a lot of it had to do with seeking my own validation. I was already messed with and bullied as a little kid, and I thought I was really getting somewhere when I finally got a girlfriend. Well, no, this girl was toxic. She cheated on me with another guy, and like an idiot, I forgave her instead of kicking her to the curb. Well, it obviously didn't stop there. Over 3 years, we were together. It happened again multiple times and with multiple guys. I just sat and took it because I kept blaming myself, but the reality is she had me at her fingertips while she was riding the carousel. You were her nice guy. You were that sure thing. You never stood up for yourself. She saw you as easy and no respect for you. Guys, if a woman doesn't respect you, she sure as hell is going to love you. And one of two things will happen. Either she'll keep you around just to validate her and have you as backup and use you for resources and cheat on you. Or B, she will break up with you and go for a guy that actually has a spine and acts like a man. Okay, in this case here, she kept him around, obviously, for option A. Once a cheater, always a cheater. Girl cheats on you, she's toast, guys. I don't care what the circumstances. I cannot stress that enough. And I know this guy knows this, but he's sharing his tale to help other guys. After I graduated high school, and after turning 18, we finally split. Good riddance, but that was just the beginning. I stayed single for a few years and met another girl in my early 20s. I was heavy in the rave and party scene and was attending music festivals often. I met some really cool people that I'm still friends with to this day. Well, the girl I met was also a single mom. She only had a daughter. Dude, what is it with you and the single moms? Well, okay, you're doing better. This one only has one daughter this time, one kid, so you're getting better here. This time I paid no attention to her kid after the crap that happened in the first relationship that I had. We were together for about 2 years, and she ended up cheating before we hit the 2-year mark. I went to her house one night, and when I got there, she was in the shower. She left her phone in the living room. Out of curiosity, I opened it up and found tons of nude photos of herself, which were never sent to me. She never sent me any, actually. Then I opened her Snapchat and saw that she had been recently talking to a guy, which I knew. Well, you guessed it, they were swapping photos with each other. I was livid. So here we go again. Starting noticing a pattern here. The first girl, 16, 2 daughters. This one here, another daughter. Women that have baggage. Women that obviously, in his mind, may see as needing him. I'm starting to notice some codependency issues going on here. And it doesn't stop there. He says, I was livid. I went downstairs to wait for her in the bedroom. When she opened the door, I confronted her about it. She, of course, lied about it. I told her to show me her phone, and I went to find the conversation and the pictures. Surprise, surprise, she deleted them. Hey, so what? You saw it. Now, she'll probably yell at you for snooping on her phone, but at the end of the day, you saw what you saw. That would have been the time to end it and move on. Nope. I know what I saw, and she still refused to open up to it. But being the dumbass I was, I let it go. I didn't send proof to myself, and I couldn't confront the other guy without looking stupid. A few months later, we were supposed to go to a club to see one of our favorite DJs perform, but we had a falling out a few days before. We were supposed to meet at this place with the intention of trying to work things out. Well, what happened next, I didn't see coming, but looking back, now the signs were all there that I should have seen. She showed up at the club with another dude who I've never met before, and she had the nerve to smile and wave at me when she got there. I was filled with rage, and my friend I was with kept me away from them because he saw that I was about to tackle this guy down. It was rubbed in my face and left feeling like I was the biggest sucker on the planet. Looking back, I definitely was. You put a vibe out into the world that draws these types in, and you obviously through your actions have a thing for women that obviously have issues and want a guy, and then you just put up with their crap and be mistreated and all that. Bro, you deserve better than that. All guys deserve better than that. But because a lot of guys have low self-esteem, low self-worth, think they can't do any better, think that's what they deserve, they put up with this crap and they think that's just how things are. No. But it doesn't end there. After that, I pretty much fell apart. I started sleeping around with multiple women, just wanting to feel wanted and desired. Pay attention to that wanted and desired part. And during that time, I met the most toxic woman of all. After the last disaster of a relationship, I met someone who pulled me in the most toxic situation in my life. It started off with amazing sex, and that's the way it's supposed to be. Oh, and that's all it was supposed to be. I mentioned that I was sleeping multiple women. I mentioned to us, the audience, that I was sleeping with multiple women earlier, but this girl didn't know about that. I was not honest about it when she asked me one day. I know, that's my own fault. Well, one night she called me freaking out about someone she found out that I had hooked up with. She was screaming through the phone and kept threatening me that she would press charges because she believed that I gave her an STD. He says in parentheses, I obviously didn't. I was tested before that and I was clean. So this is when you part ways with this chick that's screaming at you on the phone. And by the way, guys, if you're going to date multiple women, okay, have a rotation, if you will, no problem. But make sure the ones that you're dating don't think they're the only one, because you're going to invite drama and problems into your life. Be honest. And if they don't like it, they can leave. Otherwise, at least they're aware of this. Otherwise, you could expect something like this, or the girl showing up and damaging your car, or showing up at your house and destroying property. You don't need that kind of crap in your life, guys. Anyhow, he says, to make a long story short, we were never together, but she had this toxic hold on me and I could not break away from. Before we met, her life was already a mess. She suffered from chronic pain and was literally the most helpless person I've ever met. She couldn't keep a clean home and was thousands of dollars in debt. We ended up moving in together as roommates. Smack. Bro, this girl's nuts and you move in with her? The hell's wrong with you? Anyhow, what I tell you about codependent, wanting people to rely on you, white knight, nice guy, whatever you want to call it. She had a hoarding problem, so for the 2.5 years that we lived together in the place was an absolute wreck. We had a brand new apartment that was just finished the day we moved in, and it was a total mess always. She couldn't clean to save her life and always expected me to clean up after her. I found myself never wanting to be home and always working late so I didn't have to be around her. You didn't have to be around her. Why'd you? You know she was nuts. I don't care how good the action was. You should have gotten away from her, let alone moved in with her. Girlfriend number 1, 2 kids, cheated on you, a lot of drama, BS. Girlfriend number 2, and 1 child, drama, cheating, BS. Number 3, she's nuts and toxic and drama, and her life's a mess. Your codependent issues, okay? You want people that can rely on you, and they take advantage of you, and round and round you go. You do not need that, okay? Guys, if you have a pattern of this, stop, because your life is just going to be drama and full of turmoil. But there's some people in this world that's all they know. They grew up in that, and that's what they expect in life. He goes on. Finally, one day, I reached my breaking point. For the first time in my life, I wanted to end my life. Just because of everything that I had been putting up with from her, and how helpless and trapped I felt. Mental health was something I was always oblivious to, but I finally admitted that I had a problem with depression from everything I went through in my life. I agree with that. I come from a loving and supportive family, so I was able to escape that horrible environment. It took time to build up the courage to put my foot down and finally walk away. Good for you, dude. Better late than never, but good for you. Not wasting any time, I went to my doctor and got some medication for my depression. Within 2 days, I was feeling a massive difference in how I felt. I actually felt happy, and it was the best I ever felt. That wasn't enough for me. I started talking to a counselor to put a lot of my inner issues at rest. Good. I think it's a very good idea you're talking to a counselor. I would definitely talk to a counselor still, as in like right now occasionally, and focus on that whole codependency problems. I'm not a therapist. I'll make this clear, guys. Disclaimer, I'm not a therapist or a counselor or anything like that, but I've lived long enough, met around the block, and known people with a lot of problems to be able to pick some things out. So I want to, try to help you out in the area. But anybody having any issues that sound like this, maybe talking to a licensed professional, as that is not me, but I have a lot of life experience. Like I said, I'm covering my ass here saying these things, guys. But I think bringing up that issue about codependency would be a good thing with a therapist. Anyway, he says, started talking to a counselor, blah, blah, blah. I did it for a few months, but I couldn't stop there. I started doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and MMA and got myself in the gym. I lost about 36 pounds. Awesome, dude. I found something that I enjoyed doing and was very passionate about it. I trained every day and just could not stop. I then started meditating and doing yoga. I was getting in some of the best shape of my life. I then went on to compete my first Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tournament and cut down to 196 pounds. I was 235 when I first started to train. Now we are halfway through 2021. I've been off medication and just recently joined the Navy. I ship out in January 2022. Well, bro, thank you for your service. He says, I made a lot of dumb mistakes in my early years, but thanks to you and other content creators, that has really changed me for the better and has certainly made me a much wiser person. I was a typical nice guy and doormat and even a literal punching bag, but I've changed so much in the last year there will be a cold day in hell before I had that amount of low self-respect ever again. Thank you for doing what you do. You have helped me more than you can realize. Well, bro, I am very proud of you. You've been through a lot. And believe me, when I first read this guy's email, it's just like, oh my God. One girl after the other with all these problems. And I'm sure many of you guys were listening to this or watching this video and I was like, oh my God. But like I said, this guy went through his hardships like we all do. We all screw up. We all make mistakes. The only thing you can do, guys, is simply learn from them. People either do one of two things. Either they keep just making mistake after mistake after mistake throughout their lives, and their life is crap, and they don't do anything about it, except complain about it. Or you make the mistakes, you accept the fact that making mistakes is part of life, and you learn from those mistakes, and you work your butt off to make sure you don't make the same mistakes again. That's all you can do. Like I said, I made plenty of mistakes growing up. I could go on for hours, all the embarrassing, stupid crap I did, and believe me, you guys would laugh your asses off. But I eventually learned, and my life got so much better, big time. And now I can help you guys out in sharing my experiences and wisdom of things I've learned over the years. So, and that puts the silver lining on my crappy past when I was a teenager. And believe me, I had my issues. But good job for you, man. Keep up with the working out. Keep up with the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and the MMA. I did a martial arts for 6 years nonstop. Loved it. Was passionate about it. It definitely changes you. And I think it's good that if you're not seeing a therapist now, if you're feeling better, maybe it wouldn't hurt to see one maybe once a month, and I would talk about a lot of these things in your past if you haven't already, and it can definitely give you some clarity and help you not get yourselves in the same situations that you were when you're younger, because believe me, life's going to test you. You're going to have, if you're a relationship type of guy, you're going to have women that are going to come into your life like this again. It'll be a test to see whether you can see the signs and get them out of there, or you go back to your bad ways. We shall see. But anyhow, man, good job. I wish you all luck. So, all right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.